Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the September 19th, 2018 Lebanon Utility Service Board meeting. Before we get started, I will mention we did have a working session that was properly advertised prior to this meeting, which we did not, there were no decisions made or votes taken. We do have one board member absent, Neil Taylor. And with that, please rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our August 22nd meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Dan to approve the August 22nd minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. East Street change order number 5 listed as an action item. Josh, you going to present that?
Yes, good evening. Thanks for having me. So as you see, CHA has submitted change order 5 for the completion of the project on East Street. This change order is the reconciling of all the overruns and underruns for the project. So this change order is actually a credit of $18,678.74 to the project. We are requesting the board's approval of change order 5 for the credit of $18,678.74 and authorize the general manager to sign all pertinent documents.
Any questions from board members?
Nope. Oh, this is a tough one. Huh?
It was real tough.
I was looking here, it actually is a decrease, but overall,
Overall, the project did overrun.
Total project was like 19% over, and our portion was 10% over, and I assume that has to do with some added work.
Yes, that's
quite
true.
A bit of it.
Yes, I do believe the last change order we brought was change order 4, and that had quite a bit of significant work for the earthwork, undercuts and things for the unstable soils that they had in phase 1 of the project. So.
Okay. Other questions, or it's the will of the board?
I move to approve the Atlas Excavating change order number 5 for the East Street project as a credit in the amount of $18,678.74, which authorizing general manager to sign on behalf of the board.
Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Bill to approve East Street change order number 5. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Next item on the agenda is wastewater systems evaluation agreement, listed as an action item. Michael Susong.
Yeah, good afternoon, board. I'm happy to be bringing this agenda item to your to this board. This is a request for professional engineering services to conduct an overall wastewater system evaluation. The purpose of this effort is to plan to maintain the current wastewater system and account for future growth in the city. Both are very important, and we feel very strongly to pursue this effort. We have spent some time figuring out the ability to pay for this effort. That was requested, and in your packet there's a detail. I'll just kind of tell you that funds have shifted from 2 canceled projects to provide funding in 2018. Additional funds will be budgeted in 2019 to complete this 1-year effort. Just a brief justification. This evaluation is going to help spend the dollars wisely on the most important projects to give us the biggest bang for our buck. And we've got John Brand here with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. He's the engineer. He's the representative from Butler, Fairman, and Seifert that's going to explain some more scope detail and benefits of this project.
Thank you, Michael. As he said, I'm John Brand with Butler Fairman Seifert. I know we had the opportunity to have a work session a few weeks ago, kind of a high-level view of what this effort entails. This has probably been, I would say, 6 months in the making to get to this point on all the effort that's taken place, and want to make sure everyone understands Michael and Josh Spencer and Bobby Taylor have been very integral in this entire effort and have given us a lot of good input as we've gone through this. I think Michael described it very well. As we look forward for the wastewater utility, we've got two things that are paramount. First is taking care of what you have. You have an existing asset. Most of it's below ground. The wastewater component's above ground, but all your collection systems below ground. Identifying what needs to happen to take care of what you have, that's very critical in this effort. And I would like make that analogy too. That's the asset management portion of what this effort is, understanding your system, the strengths of your system, the weaknesses of your system, and just maintaining your asset in the best way, from both fiscally and the decisions that you make on that side, making that decision of where you spend your money and when. So that's the first piece of this, is taking care of what you have. The second piece of it is allowing and accommodating for future growth. The growth is headed this way. We can all see it on I-65. There was a master plan that was completed back in 2008 that addressed the South Annex, at that time what was the South Annexation. The city planning engineering staff are in the middle of an update of a comprehensive plan. And no doubt the area for future growth for Lebanon will be much different than what it looked like in 2008. So that master plan needs to be updated for these areas that they'll be bigger than what the 2008 plan is. So that's the part of this to accommodate future growth. We have a study that's 10 years old, and it is a much smaller area than what the actual plan will be for the city. So this update of the 2008 master plan, I'll call that an update. We have a good start on it, but the area that is currently being contemplated for in the comprehensive plan would be analogous to being as big as Center Township, much bigger than what was looked at in 2008. So that area of study, size of future sewers and location of future sewers in these growth areas will be a very important tool as the development happens out in these areas. Related to the asset management part of this, there's three pieces that are significant in the scope and fee and schedule that we put together. There's a GIS component to go out, 10-inch and larger sewers to locate those, make an assessment of those, and get those entered into a database so that as Bobby does and Josh, as they find things out in the system and they do some maintenance in it, the record keeping can take place, and that's the asset management part of things that go on in your collection system going forward. That information will reside in the GIS in your database, as opposed to a bunch of between the ears of a bunch of people that are familiar with your system will get this information recorded. So the GIS component is very significant. Like most utilities in the state of Indiana, the wastewater, when it rains a significant amount, there are problems in a collection system. That is not unique to Lebanon. Most utilities have that issue. So the second piece of this is significant is flow monitoring. There are bottlenecks in your system, we know that. There are times when there's a severe rain that there's actually sanitary sewer overflows. What to do to improve that. The flow monitoring will identify these areas where this is most significant and be the roadmap for the parts of the collection system that future money would be spent. Or another example would be if we take, say we have a lift station that pumps to an area that has, when it rains, has a problem, the possibility of a reroute of that lift station to another part of your collection system that performs much better when it rains. Those are the type of things that could be outcomes of this when we do the flow monitoring. And then the last piece on the looking forward is on the wastewater part of it. We've engaged Wessler engineers who have done your wastewater expansions. They will give us a high-level view of the size, the capacity, location of future wastewater facilities. Your current wastewater location is limited in what it won't serve the entire area that the comprehensive plan would show. So it would give you an idea of locations of plant and just how much remaining capacity at your existing plant you can accommodate. I neglected to mention on the flow monitoring that ADS, they are experts in flow monitoring. They will complete that effort. That's broken up into two pieces. We need to gather flow data when it's raining. So we're going to do 45-day period in the fall and a 45-day period in the spring. And each time as we do this, we'll be able to narrow down the focus in your collection system. But really the thought or idea is for Lebanon Utilities as it goes forward, say the end of 2019, there will be a few critical locations in your sanitary sewer system that you will have meters that will be out there permanently. And that will be the measure of how the utility and how the system is performing, say 10 years from now, to look and see what progress has been made as we keep these permanent flow meters out in the system. High level, what this will identify is collection. This will be the roadmap for collection system improvements for your wastewater utility. Taking care of what you got in the existing system. This will be fundamental for those capital improvement projects, and that will be put together with when a development project comes in a certain side of town, if they're to know how to do that in the best way as well. Those are the two components that will come out of this study that will be beneficial over the next decade and beyond that for the utilities. I'm happy to answer any questions. That's what I would say the deliverable or the expectation of how this will benefit the utility as you go forward on your wastewater system.
Questions from? I have one. How is it rationalized to just do 10-inch and larger pipe? Were you just looking at interceptors, or because I'm sure we've got a significant amount of 8-inch pipe that could have bottleneck issues?
You do, well, Gary. The initial, we worked with Josh and Michael and Bobby, and we provided a proposal to do ranges to do all of your collection system in all the sizes. I would say it would be cost prohibitive at this time to do that. So we made the priority of the larger ones. There are a few locations where an 8-inch sewer is the bottleneck. We've identified I think it's about a third of your system, Josh. That's what we'll be able to do with the amount of money and the budget of this. If we did your entire system, I think it would have been a number that's more than you would want to spend at this time. That can be added on to this study as you go forward at any time. There's even the ability of the utilities to do some of that with their own personnel for some of these smaller lines. We've seen some other communities that do that. So. Not saying it's not important, but in the way of a priority, we'd recommend that would be done at a later date for the smaller lines.
Any questions or? If not, I guess I need a motion on this item.
Don't move.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve the wastewater systems evaluation agreement with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you. It's noted in the schedule that the big pieces of this are the fall data collection. So when the fall data collection gets complete, we'll come back and report to the board. It won't be the final report of the entire study, but this is what we found on the fall data collection. These are things that high level that we'd want you to hear. And then also next spring, we'll be doing the wet weather monitoring, and we will be beginning the future areas of development we will start that effort when the comp plan is nearly complete. And we anticipate that being the first quarter of 2019, and we'll come in and report high level of those things to you as well. We won't be here every month to report those, but maybe every fall and then early in 2019 to report the progress on this, because this is it's a big endeavor, important endeavor for the utility. So if that makes sense in the way of reporting, we would suggest we do it that way.
I think it'd be great to stay updated.
Yeah.
Right, rather than coming a year from now and plopping a bunch of
Final
stuff.
report down.
Right, yep.
So
Okay.
when do you start collecting the data, John?
They will start, you will see ADS trucks here in the next couple weeks. We
Okay.
intend for that to be, it's usually wet in October, November, so that 45-day period. In the next couple weeks, you will start seeing mobilization, those efforts. We want them. I think the first week of October, I believe, Michael,
Okay,
is what
great.
we've talked about with ADS. So it will be starting very quickly.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Michael?
Thank you very much. This is a very robust project. We're excited about getting the approval on it, so thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is electric department bucket truck to be declared as surplus, listed as an action item. Trace Bowles is going to talk about that.
Yeah, I am. Thank you very much. I actually have the next 6 items, so you guys can see my pretty face for a little
Pull up a
bit now.
chair.
All right, yeah, be prepared. That's right. We actually replaced truck number 17, which was a 2004 GMC bucket truck, and we need to have that declared surplus so we can actually sell it at auction, and for a fee of 4%. So this is something that it's a bucket truck that we don't need anymore. It's one that's not 100% worn out, but at the same time, it was costing us more in repairs than we should have to have happen. So what we're asking is we're requesting that the board declare truck number 17 as surplus and allow the electric department to have J.J. Kane Auction Services sell this truck at auction, releasing Lebanon Utilities of all liabilities.
Questions or comments from board members? Entertain a motion on that.
Okay, I move to declare our 2004 GMC bucket truck as surplus and have J.J. Kane Auction Services sell this truck at auction as allowed by Indiana Code IC 5-22-22-4, authorizing general manager as authorized signature on behalf, to sign the agreement with J.J. Kane on behalf of the board.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to approve declaring the electric department bucket truck as surplus and to sell it at auction. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item is electric department meters to be declared as surplus.
Yes, as a part of the AMI system, we replaced many meters. In fact, we have 8,522 electric meters that now need to be recycled. And so we're asking that the board declare these 8,522 electric meters as surplus and allow them to be recycled.
Any comments from board members?
So they're declared, they're declared scrap, so they have no value.
They're scrap, they have no value.
We have no buyers.
That's correct.
Okay.
We have checked, we have no buyers.
Okay.
So we'd like to recycle them.
Sure.
Okay.
Entertain a motion on that?
No, Jim.
To declare 8,522 electric meters that were replaced with new as surplus, and then to allow the electric department dispose as scrap and recyclable.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Bill to declare the meters scrap, surplus, and to be sold as scrapped. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I would
Motion
like to
carried.
clarify that there is no value to them, so we can't even sell them as scrap, that we really will just need to recycle them.
Yeah, I'm sorry I stumbled around
That's
there.
okay.
Didn't
Yeah.
mean
I
say
just wanted to
sell,
clarify
but,
that.
Are we
okay.
paying to have them hauled off then?
No, as far as I know, they'll actually come out and have a dumpster that we can actually put them in
Good.
so that we don't have to pay to get rid of them.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, next item is Ulen Underground Electric System Replacement, listed as an action item.
Thank you. This has been a project that we've been working on for 2 years trying to get done. Out in Ulen, we have an underground system that where all the transformers are underground as well as all the wires. When our guys have to go look inside those manholes, they are exposed. So they open up a manhole, and if they have to do an inspection, they're laying right over the energized transformer. That's very dangerous. And so we have been working with Ulen, the town of Ulen, to be able to replace this system. And so what we're going to do is we would like to hire a company to directional bore. We have it all designed, and we have verified that the easements are there. However, we will double check that and make sure that we have all the easements. But this particular project, we're going to take everything that's in the front and take it to the backyards and have it be like our normal system. At the same time, Ulen has offered has offered to replace all the services from the house back to our transformers and our secondary boxes. So that's something that they're willing to do. We're actually partnered with Ulen to be able to do this project. So I'd request that the board approve the project, this particular project, for $240,982.88, and grant general manager signing authority over all and any contracts.
So moved.
Can we modify that just a little bit? Do you mind, Bill?
Huh?
Can we make that subject to verification and council approval, or legal council approval of easement and homeowners association agreement? Can we include that in your motion?
Yes.
Okay,
So move on that.
second.
Okay, the motion's been made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve the estimate for Ulen Underground Service. Before we vote on that, I do have a question. Is this is based on an estimate, so is that correct? The final numbers will come in?
It's based on
Solid
actual
numbers.
counts. It's actually been designed, has actual counts of what we need. It also has actual bid from the underground
Directional bore
Directional bore
people.
company,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So it's a solid number.
Okay.
All right. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Elmwood Electric System conversion from overhead to underground, listed as an action item.
Yes. This particular project takes the Elmwood subdivision, and which we have overhead wires, and we actually would take it underground. We've been having some troubles out in that area, and so we want to make sure that we get all the electric underground. That's something that the city has been asking for, and so we'd like to go forward with this project and put it underground. It won't require any of the homeowners to have to redo their services. They're welcome to if they want to, but they don't have to. And so this project, we're requesting that the board approve this project in $81,831 and grant general manager the signing authority over any and all contracts. Any questions?
Questions, comments?
I move to allow the electric department to convert the electric system in Elmwood from overhead to underground for and not to exceed amount of $81,831 and grant general manager signing authority for all pertinent documents.
Second that.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to approve the Elmwood electric system conversion from overhead to underground. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, employee advancement program modifications listed as an action item.
Yeah, if you remember a couple of months ago, I introduced the employee advancement program and gave you some documentation of how it would look. When we were doing some comparisons, we actually found that the job description names and what was on that list didn't quite match up, and so we had some grammatical errors and we had some naming errors that are in our system, and it makes it easier if we just go ahead and change that document rather than changing multiple documents in the system. So it's basically a naming issue. There are no dollar changes at all. And so that's really what this boils down to. It's more a clerical, cleaning it up, making it something so it's easy for payroll to use. And that's what we're trying to do here. We just wanted to bring it to your attention that the document that you saw is going to be in a different format. The numbers are all the same. The whole idea is the whole
So
same.
we need
By the
to
way,
take
we
a vote
have,
on.
last week we actually had a meeting with the managers and kicked off this program. We actually had an implementation meeting, and so they're in the process now of evaluating each of their employees. So we will be ready for that October 1st date.
Good deal. So we need a vote on that modification.
Need a vote?
I'd entertain a motion then.
I make a motion, we move to approve the format and description changes to employee advancement program structure and on-call pay rate effective July the 11th, 2018, with modifications and presentation September the 19th, 2018.
Second that.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Jim to approve the employee advancement program modifications. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item is 2019 employee health premiums, which is always a popular item, listed as action.
Yep. If I can get turned on here, I'll have a presentation for you. Sandra was to help with this. In fact, she did a lot of work on it, and we have our final information. Okay, there we are. And so this is for the 2019 health insurance recommendations. Here's just an update on our health insurance. In 2017, we entered into an agreement with AIM Medical Trust to merge our health insurance with the city. This saved Lebanon Utilities $274,509.48 of the renewal we would have had by staying with United Health without being in the trust in 2017. So back in 2017, we saved that much money by switching over. This saved Lebanon Utilities a minimum of $184,105.83 for 2018 as well. We are in the third year of this 3-year agreement, and so no other quotes were obtained for insurance because we were in this agreement. The renewal for AIM has been summarized below. The HSA is F plan, and the cost is $922,716.72, which is an 11% premium increase. Our city contribution will be $59,199.75. That's for the 2019 contribution. So the total premium would be $981,916.47. The HSA contribution would be $173,800. So the total insurance would be $1,155,716.47. The renewal premium rate for 2019 is still lower than our 2017 renewal. And we would have been we would, if we had not moved, by now we would be saving $381,791.68. So we've saved that much over these 3 years. As a note, due to the number of participants that have dropped off from the Lebanon utility plan or made changes to their status, maybe they've gone from family to single, or they've gone from family to spouse, it has reduced the amount of the amount due to the city in 2019, and the rates above are lower than what was quoted in 2018 by almost $200,000. Therefore, the entire increase has been absorbed, and a decrease of 16.8% should be realized. For 2018, the biweekly employee rates were as follows, or are as follows. We're still in 2018. Employee pays biweekly $56.17. An employee with a child is $87.09. An employee's spouse is $123.57, and a family is $154.49. For 2018, the contributions to the HSA are as follows: employee $2,200, family $4,400. Therefore, we're recommending, because of the savings that we've had, we're recommending that Lebanon Utilities remain on the Plan F with the AIM Medical Trust for 2019. We recommend that the employee premiums stay the same for 2019, meaning no change to the employee premiums. And we recommend continuing to fund the HSA contributions at a rate of $2,200 for single and $4,400 for family through 2019. And this is because we've actually realized a savings of almost $400,000 over the last 3 years. I'd take any questions.
So recommendation from staff is to stick with the current plan and
is to stay with the current plan and the current premium amounts for our employees and the current premium or what we would pay into the HSA. That's correct.
Yeah, it's obvious, we're still saving money.
Yes.
Even though we encountered 11% increase as a result of engaging with the trust, we're still ahead of the curve. So the 11%, I agree, should not be passed on to the employees. Yeah, I would agree completely. So this is going to be a three motion issue. Can we just make the motions and take one vote, or do we need to vote on each one individually?
Yes, in light of my preference would be to do them individually, if you're all right with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't want to disrupt
I
anybody
didn't know
else's
they were
questions.
broken down individually.
Yeah, yeah.
To print out that.
We voted separate every year.
Yeah, okay. Then I make a motion to remain on Plan F with AIM Medical Trust for 2019.
I would second that.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to remain on Health Insurance Plan F. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Then I make a motion that employees' rates remain the same for our health insurance through AIM for 2019.
Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Bill to leave the employee rates the same. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I make a motion to keep the HSA contributions the same for 2019.
I second that.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to keep the HSA contributions the same. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That take care of that one?
It takes care of me. I
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just a side note is the plan was not compromised at all. There were no adjustments as far as benefits are concerned. So hopefully we still have a high level, high quality plan for our employees.
We absolutely do.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trace. Next item on the agenda is retirement plan document preparation and drafting, listed as an action item.
Mr. Chairman, I believe
Yep.
that is me carrying the load on this one. As we discussed a couple of occasions, principal is, financial group is, due to some regulation changes primarily, however, due to their some internal decisions at principal, have decided that they are no longer going to offer plan document drafting as one of the services that they would provide to the utility. Accordingly, after going out and talking to a couple different groups and a couple of different law firms, my recommendation, Sandra's recommendation, and Marie Marks's recommendation is to hire the firm of Ogletree Deacons, Nash, Smoke, and Stewart to perform employee benefit document drafting services. Now, it may be that we don't need them. I do note that we've got an ongoing relationship with them, and they have provided services with them in the past, or for us in the past. But I would ask the board approve the engagement letter. I do note that I misspoke earlier, that they have provided a discounted rate to the utility as outlined on page 2, which is lower than their normal standard rates. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any options other than what you've looked at?
Of course, there are different rates. These rates are consistent with the other firms that I spoke to. There is a shop that handles pension plan document drafting that Marie spoke to, Marie Marks. Their rates were basically the same as well, and I did not believe in talking with her about that group that they would provide the breadth of expertise that we would potentially need. So I was not comfortable with that.
So they're the best choice.
Okay.
They are a choice that we're very comfortable with, we have a relationship with, and they do a nice job.
Okay. Well, under protest, I guess is how I would like to phrase this. Under protest, that principal had originally agreed when we engaged with them to provide this documentation, and they have, for whatever reason, reneged. So under protest, I move to improve the engagement letter agreement with Ogletree Deacons and authorize General Manager Mike Whitman to sign on behalf of the utility board.
Second.
Okay.
And I also have concern about that, the same as Dan.
Okay, motion made by Dan, seconded by Bill to approve the engagement letter with, who was it, Ogletree Deacons? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is interim general manager assignment, listed as an action item. We need to,
No, I think to tee that up, Mike is to be retiring within the next 2 days?
2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks, okay. And at that term point, I would move that we appoint Trace Bowles as interim general manager upon General Manager Mike Whitman's retirement. And thank you, Mike, for everything that you've done for Lebanon
Very
Utilities.
welcome. Thank you.
I would second that motion.
Okay, motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to appoint interim general manager as Trace Bowles. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Congratulations, Trace.
Thank you
I think. Okay, next item on the agenda, approval of claims.
I make a motion, we pay the claims.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Bill to approve the claims. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Other business before the board? I know Mike has some general manager comments.
I do, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being with us this evening. Lebanon Utilities is your not-for-profit utility owned by you, the citizens of Lebanon. As my retirement after 45 years in the utility business gets sadly closer, just 2 weeks away, I wish to heartily express my gratitude to the Board of Directors for trusting me with the honor of being General Manager of Lebanon Utilities. It has been a very rewarding and learning experience. I could not have been successful without the support of the board and our dedicated staff, who deserve my sincere thanks for their input and desire to make Lebanon a great place to work, to live, and participate in life's pleasurable events. Being a part of the Lebanon utility team has taught me skills I can use in more than the professional areas of my life. My relationships on a personal level are in a better place than they were, thanks to many of these skills I've learned over the past 4 years. I've come to realize that being a part of the team takes compromise. When you're on the team, you have to lead, sometimes you have to follow, and more often than not, sometimes you have to meet in the middle. I shall miss the day-to-day contact with my coworkers and, of course, dealing with short-term and long-term challenges that await us every day. I thank the board for their dedication and support, my staff for their thoughtful input and guidance, and to all employees of Lebanon Utilities for their dedication to just do an outstanding job. If anything, please feel sorry for my wife, as she will acquire a full-time role in taking care of her unemployed husband. I thank all of you and wish you the very best for your careers and your life pursuits. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, and finally I ask, please remember, be safe out there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Board.
Thank you very much, Mike. I know probably on behalf of the board, we want to thank you very much for your leadership and contribution to the organization. You've been a great friend to me personally. Hopefully that will remain, and we'll see you around from time to time. And best of luck with your retirement.
Thank you very much.
Okay, other comments or any other business from board members? If not, I would open it up for public comment. Seeing none, our next board meeting date is October 3rd, scheduled for 5 p.m. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, second by Jim to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much and have a good evening.